Vanakkam children. Now we are going to see the poem in first unit. So what is the title of the poem? Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, which was written by Robert Frost. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening by Robert Frost. So this poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, it's one of Robert Frost and most well-known poems. That of course Robert Frost is an American poet. It's one of the most famous poem published in his collection of the books called New Hampshire. This poem was taken from the book New Hampshire, which was written in 1923. And this poem have 8 syllables. Okay, this poem was written in iambic tetrameter. So what does iambic tetrameter mean? This poem has have 8 syllables. That is, tetra means 4. Because each line only has 8 syllables. Okay, so this poem was written in iambic tetrameter. And this poem has 4 stanzas. Okay, each stanza have 4 lines, and totally 4 stanzas, that is 16 lines. This poem has 16 lines long, right? So what's the speciality of this poem? Usually Robert Frost, his poems mostly was concentrated on nature and are mainly on nature only. Okay, so in this poem, he mentioned about the nature, that's a beauty of nature, and the responsibilities that humans have. Because there are many living beings, there is some special for human being, speciality. We have some responsibilities to do. We have some tasks to do in our life, right? So he mentioned the beauty of nature and also the responsibilities to do in our life. That is before the end of our life. So that he mentioned in this poem. Okay, let's go to the poem. See the first stanza. Whose hoods these are, I think I know. Whose hoods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here. He will not see me stopping here to watch his hoods fill up with snow. To watch his hoods fill up with snow. So here the narrator of the poem. The narrator of the poem is a poet here. Okay, the narrator of the poem. Here that stopping by woods on a snowy evening, on his way in the evening to the home, the narrator knows, he was going to the woods, he was going to the woods on his way when he was going to the home. What is the woods? Woods means nothing but the forest, So when he was going to the home, in his way he saw the woods and he was going through the woods. So the narrator knows that the owner of the woods, he know the owner, already he know the owner of the woods, that is owner of the forest he know already, and even he know where he lives. So he is a bit relaxed, thinking that the owner of the woods lives in the village, and he won't see that the narrator was stopping here and he was walking through the woods, because usually the owners, if you are going into any groups, right, so we will be feared that whether the owner of that groups will just come and see us. Even if we know them also, we have some bit fear whether if they come here means we feel embarrassing, right? So like that here, he also knows the owner of the woods already, and even he know where he lives in the village. So now he was relaxed, that is, he lives in the village, now he won't see here, he won't come and see that I am walking here. So he was just relaxed and walking there. So therefore just he can continue watching the natural beauty of the snow covered woods. Here I mentioned to watch his woods fill up with snow. So now he was relaxed and he was just continue walking throughout the woods, and he was enjoying by watching the snow covered. What is snow? It's a fog which was covered right through the forest. Just imagine, that's a natural beauty, right? So then see the second stanza. My little horse must think it queer. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. To stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and the frozen lake. Between the woods and the frozen lake. The darkest evening of the year. The darkest evening of the year. So in the second stanza, the narrator of the poem says that his dear horse. Here she's dear. My little horse, he was saying that is dear. Dear we can say. Dear means not animal dear. Here the dear, if he is your mom or if somebody is very close to you, you will say dear, right? So he is saying that is dear horse, that is whom he is using, that is as his carriage, right? Because the horse only carrying the poet to the woods. So must think it's strange. Strange means something uncommon, something strange to stop here between the woods and the frozen lake. Must because it is a darkest evening. It's a darkest evening, and as he normally steps near a farmhouse. So normally he will go by the horse. His horse, that is his horse only carry him to the farmhouse, or he will stop near the farmhouse. But this day the horse was feeling very strange. He was thinking it is strange because he stopped the horse near between the woods and the frozen lake. So why the poet was stopping here? So the horse was just thinking. It was feeling very strange, right? So the narrator calls the horse, my little horse. Here you can see the narrator calls the horse, my little horse. Okay, the narrator calls the horse, my little horse. That is as it is very dear to him. Or maybe the horse is a little one, and in the literally sense we can say that is it may also suggest that the speaker was an ordinary person, ordinary citizen, and he cannot afford to buy an expensive horse. It is very little, and so he was referring as it as he. In the next stanza we can see he refers horse as mentioned as he. In the next stanza we can see here. So in this stanza, now the narrator suggests that the weather is very cold. Here you can see between the woods and the frozen lake. Right? Frozen lake means the lake was very frozen because of the cold, that fog. It was fully covered with snow, right? And that is, it was a very frozen lake. And the expression, the darkest evening, the darkest evening cold suggests several things, because the darkest evening means it may be in the month of the December. In the month of the December, we can see much snow, right? So here he mentioned many things, right? So see the next stanza. He gives his harness bells a shake. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Of easy wind and downy flake. The horse is shaking its head, ringing the bell attached to his harness. That is, if he is asking his master whether there is any problem, as it is unusual for him to stop by the woods in the darkness. Because why he was stopping in the darkness? He was thinking, is there any strange for what happened to the poet? Is this any strange? So why he stopped in the woods in the darkness, in the darkest woods? So, and the important thing in this stanza, this poem, the stopping by woods on a snowy evening, is the sound imageries. All we can imagine. Imageries was used here, right? And there is only 3 sounds here. What is sound mean? The sounds of the harness bell. What's a harness bell means? The horse, okay. In the horse which we can use to tie in the horse neck a bell. That's called the harness bell. It was shaking his bell very loudly. That is to just inform the poet, to just remember the poet that we want to go, why you are stopped here. For that it was shaking his harness bells, right? So what are 3 sounds mentioned here means one was harness bell, and next one is a light, a wind, right? So and the snowflakes. So these are the 3 sounds which was mentioned. So the important here, alright. So next we can go to the last stanza. The woods so lovely dark and deep. The woods so lovely dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. But have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Here in the last stanza, the narrator describes the woods using three adjectives. See, what are the three adjectives now? Lovely, dark and deep. So what are the three adjectives means? Lovely, dark and deep. So this indicates that he is enjoying the scene and he wants to do for long. But he has other responsibilities in life. That is, he has to go a long way before he sleeps. Sleeps means not sleeping. Okay, here the sleeps. Generally we can say before sleeps, even that is also. Every day, okay, every day before we going, but this, okay, in this time I want to say one thing, children, I just remember. Every day when before you going to the sleep, you want to just remember one thing. You want to just go through one thing. What does that mean? This day. So today before going to the sleep, you want to just have in one mind. What you want to think means today, this day, what you have did. What are the things you have did. In those things, many things you will do the whole day. So in that, in those things, is there any useful thing, a good thing? Have you did any good thing? Or that in that things, is there any useful? Is there any some good things what you have did? So you want to just think that. Is there the thing, okay? As have we did any useful thing? Have we just completed? Have we just did the most useful thing for us? Or have you did any good things for your parents or for anybody? You want to think that and then only you want to sleep. So then immediately the next day you will do the task very completely without any fail. So whatever the goal you fixed, you will go on to that way. So every day we want to remember before going to sleep these things. So here sleeps means not everyday sleeping. Here before he sleeps, what he mentioned, the poet mentioned means before the death, before our end of our life, we have many responsibilities to do. So here he also saying that he has many responsibilities in life, that is he has to go along the way before he sleeps, that is before the end of his life. So he cannot get the enjoyment for long. He cannot get enjoyment because he loved nature. He loved standing there and he loved watching the woods which was covered with snow. But he is just thinking one thing. Okay, I have many responsibilities to do. I have many responsibilities to do. So he has, okay, so I cannot just stand here and enjoy. I have to move on. He is thinking that, like that we have to be. We love many things. Even we didn't like some things. So whatever, if you love or don't love, you should not stay in the same place. You have to move on. So that the poet mentions here. So he want to go, but he cannot enjoy for a long time. So and the poet repeats the last line to attract the attention of readers. See what the last line. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So in this very last line, so here main thing, the sleep may refer to death that I told already. So these two lines, figure of speech we want to mention, okay, we want to listen. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The two lines was repeated, right? So what's the figure of speech used here means repetition. If the lines repeat for 2 times, that is called repetition, right? Here the figure of speech used is repetition. So we in our real life have many things to enjoy, many things to do, we have many responsibilities, many things to enjoy. But in most cases we cannot simply because we have other things to do in our short lifespan, because our life is very short. In this short lifespan we have most things to do, right? So and so we have to move on. The main things is in this very short lifespan we have many things to do, so we have to move on. We should stay focused on our goal and try to reach it time. We must fulfill our duties before we die. So that is the most important thing. That is, in our lifespan, we have many things to do. We want to stay focused. The main thing is we want to stay focused on our goal and we want to try to reach it. Focus means just I want to become a doctor, I want to become every day just saying I want to become a doctor, I want to become a doctor. Not that. You want to try to reach that. That is the most important thing. That too in time. So in time we want to try to reach that. That is, we must fulfill our duties before we die. That's a poet mentioned here, Robert Frost mentioned. And do you know one thing, the one thing which we want to know here, our former Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, former Prime Minister of India, he had this last two lines, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This last two lines of this poem, written in a block letters, and he placed on his desk, table. Did you know this? He written these two lines in a very block letters and he pasted in this table, desk. Because as these two lines reminded him, it was reminded him of his responsibilities. When he sees his two lines, no, see many years, why he was doing that? See, many persons, if they just face some sad thing, no, some persons won't get out from that. They won't recover from that sad thing. They will just stay same. If they saw some failure, no, they will just they won't do any other things. They won't get out from that. They won't recover from that. So we should not be like that. If there is one failure, failure is a stepping stone to success, right? So next thing we want to go. Many persons won't do that. We have to go on. We have many responsibilities to do. What is our goal? We want to reach that. The next you want to get up and go for that, right? So for that he placed this, because it reminded him his responsibilities. Whenever he become happy or sad, whatever, he just look at this. It reminds us. If you get somewhat stressed, it reduces your level. When he sees these two lines, no, he just again his mind will get energy, and he just goes to work. So he just written in a block letters and he placed in the desk. Every time when he sees that, it just reminds him whatever the responsibilities. I hope children, you also will do the same. That is, always focused on the responsibilities. You want to remember one thing. So in this lifespan, okay, we have to move on. Whatever the things you are facing, you just move on. The happy things, if you face the happy thing, enjoy it. And next step, what's the next step? That enjoyment is for a short time. Next you have to move on. Then only you face another enjoyment, right? Then only you face another enjoyment, right? So you have to move on and always stay focused on your goal. First, fix your goal. That is important. Stay focused on the goal and try to reach it on time. So we have to fulfill our responsibilities before we die. That is, I sleep, he mentioned. Last sleep is refers to death. Before our death, we have to fulfill our responsibilities. So I think you love this poem. So not only just listening, reading, writing the exam, just vomiting, that's not enough. You have to learn what the thing mentioned here. For that we are reading. Otherwise language, just you can learn. Language you can learn easily. So what's the main thing? In other subjects you are just learning. You are reading many things you are getting. So from these things you have to learn and you have to get some good things. Whatever that I told here, right? So I hope you will follow the same. And next as we hear, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem? See this 4 lines. First stanza 4 lines. First stanza 4 lines. See here. Who suits these are? I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his suits fill up with snow. No, though, here, snow. So what's the rhyme scheme of these 4 lines? See here. No, snow. Though, next, right. no, do, snow. A, B, E. Rhyme scheme. For the next 4 lines, second stanza. Cure, near, lake, ear. So what's the rhyme scheme? Cure, near, B, B. Next lake, C, ear, B. Right, because cure, near, ear. Same rhyme. How you will find the rhyme scheme? By the end of the rhyming words with the same sound, right? So cure, near, ear. See here, shake, mistake, sweet, flake. Shake, mistake, flake. Same sound. So C, C, C. Sweep is D. See that. Next, last 4 lines. Deep, keep, sleep, sleep. Right. So deep, keep, sleep, sleep. All the 4 sounds the same. Right. So all is D, D, D. So this is a rhyme scheme of this poem. So I hope children you enjoyed this poem. Thank you.